See how? Hi, my name is Linda Jones. I work for Transportation Security Administration. I'm at Miami International Airport. I'm a transportation security officer and I have been for 5 years. Also, Florida Department of Corrections for 20 years. So as you can see, I have 25 years of experience with government security. And I am a member of the Diversity and Inclusion Council. What does diversity and inclusion mean to me? It means unity, patience, and perseverance. The inclusion of diversity is to have changes that everyone can be a part of. One that everyone can understand, the person that's working with them. And you have a voice. Like the way we think when it comes to communication, more often we all talk about the same issues, although we use different phrases or verbiage that is attributed to or from our culture or from our age generation or even the scholastic knowledge. The same issues are there. All of this is our working environment. The cause and effect of our overall day-to-day functions. Will we listen? Will we learn? Will we embrace? These different communication styles, diversity and inclusion, will affect unity, patience, and perseverance for all. When I speak of unity, I speak with every voice that matters. Changing one's mind to effectively spirit a positive outcome from people with diverse backgrounds while including all the voices within the workplace, regardless of their abilities. Simply level the ground. Level the working environment so that others can be seen and heard. That's what I think about unity. Patience. Choosing to be patient without becoming angry or upset that is our ultimate goal. There must be an acceptance without no hesitation. Practice patience with the clear understanding that you are working with people that have multiple levels of understanding. Perseverance. We must not fail to be persistent. Continued perseverance will build positive, healthy, and consistent trust within our inclusive workforce of voices that matter to everyone that's involved. Why is diversity and inclusion important in the workplace? Because of awareness, reflections, and change. Diversity and inclusion is a benefit for our frontline officers. Diversity and inclusion is not just about multiple races, it's about knowledge and understanding of ourselves and our workplace and interactions. The awareness is understanding what and why you did the things that you've done. Understand how to perceive my coworkers. When I understand how to perceive my coworkers, that builds unity. Learning how to communicate with all the cultures in my workforce, that's every voice that matters. And when I reflect, I'm checking myself. I revisit my actions from the beginning of the day to the end of the day with my interactions with my coworkers. Were my words understood? Did I take the time to understand what my colleagues were saying? Did my colleagues understand me? These are things that I reflect about every day because sometimes we come across a little different, and that's only because we come from different backgrounds. And when I think of change, Have you ever given a thought to what you can change about yourself so that others can understand? They can understand you. They can grasp and convey the message that you're trying to communicate to them. Communication will not only be for our workforce inner circle, but it includes the clear understanding of my peers. Again, voices that matter to all those involved. What have I learned about diversity and inclusion? I've learned a lot about diversity and inclusion. I was born and raised in a small country town in Kansas. I had never personally met a Spanish person at that time. I was introduced to the foreign speaking classes in high school, Spanish and French. And that's pretty much all I knew as far as really knowing anything about foreign, other than learning about other lands, other countries. I chose the class, however, of French because I had a French teacher, so I was really interested in learning about French. As a young adult woman living in Kansas City, I became aware of Spanish-speaking people, known as Mexicans to me. This is all that I knew about Spanish descent. Later, I moved to South Florida and I learned about more different races in the world and how we learn to work together with our different ways to accomplish the same task. Diversity training became mandated where I worked at. When I thought about first taking a diversity and inclusion class, I thought it was just another way of giving a speech on how to be respectful and how to be respectful and be careful of your words when you're talking to your co-workers. I never realized that I had not taken the time to really relate to other cultures. I did relate to generational diversity. That's because of learning how to respect my elders as I was growing up. And that's probably about as diverse as an inclusion that I can remember. That's what I thought it was. As an officer, I learned that a simple concept as part of an employment application had a powerful effect on a race, and I guess a generation as well. An employment application. Back in the day, an employment application, it had black, white, Asian, or other. One of my co-workers that was really close to me, she was Spanish descent. And she made the comment that the application bothered her because it seemed to refer to her as other. And so we joked about it. But then she really brought to our attention that it made people look at her race like her race did not matter in the United States. It made people look at her race like other. How would that make you feel if people looked at you like you were other? Like her race didn't matter? Not Hispanic descent like today's naming in our applications. Can you imagine being referred to as other? For the first time, I wanted to learn how other cultures did the same similar day-to-day things, and that's how I started learning about diversity and inclusion. What you say and how you say it, that does have a lot of bearing on it. But when you think of something as simple as a application to explain what race you come from can have an implication on a generation, that's a lot. And we don't even know that we were doing that. What have I learned about diversity and inclusion? I learned that every voice matters. Every voice matters.